From 2006 until 2022, exactly 1,000 fin whales were killed by Iceland, and now they have killed 2 more. This being all the more tragic as fin whales are listed as vulnerable by the IUCN. Iceland, along with Japan and Norway, are the only countries that continue to carry out the barbaric practice of whaling. There were 3 whaling companies in Iceland, but for the past 3 years, 2 of them have suspended their whale hunts, and the country has only 1 active whaling company. New rules came into force in August 2022, whereby trained observers were required to be on the hunts and document what occurred. This is when concerns were raised that the fin whales were taking a long time to die. These observers witnessed the horrific way the fin whales had died, but the report was not published until May this year, and then the Food, Agriculture and Fisheries Minister put in place a whaling ban in June until August 31st. 148 whales were caught that year, and all were examined by a vet. Staff also went aboard whaling boats and monitored 58 whales being hunted. Their findings were horrific. Of the 148 whales caught, 36 whales, that is 24%, were shot more than once. Of these, 5 whales were shot 3 times, and 4 whales were shot 4 times. For one of these whales, death took almost an hour, and for another, it took 2 hours. One whale was chased for 5 hours without success. The method used to kill a whale is barbaric. Modern harpoons are usually fitted with penthrite grenades that will penetrate about 12 inches into the body before they explode, releasing claw-like protrusions into the flesh. The idea is that the blast causes enough brain damage to kill or knock the whale out for a few seconds. But it depends where the harpoon hits the whale. You are, after all, trying to hit a moving target from a moving boat. The whale may suffer from trauma or blood loss, but not die immediately, instead suffering a long and agonizing death. It is estimated that only 60% of whales died or lost consciousness quickly or immediately. Almost 40% struggled for approximately 11.5 minutes before they died. I don't know about you, but I would not like to take over 11 minutes to die a painful death. The response of the Food, Agriculture and Fisheries Minister to the reports and her words about whaling were admirable. I am directly quoting her here. This alarming report underscores the need for a discussion in Iceland about the values we want to be known for. I believe that industries incapable of guaranteeing animal welfare should be considered part of our past rather than our future. This report, along with the Expert Council on Animal Welfare's findings, will serve as essential background material for making decisions about the future of whaling post-2023. An expert working group comprising of the Ministry of Food, the National Food Agency and the Norwegian Fisheries Agency was set up in July to look at ways of modifying the whale hunt to reduce animal suffering. The ban has now been lifted, but the ministry has implemented strict and detailed new requirements for hunting, which include only being able to hunt the whale within a distance of 25 metres from the boat, and no calf must be involved. Hunting should take place in daylight. Anyone involved should be properly trained and use the right equipment and methods. Working together, the Food and Veterinary Authority and the Directorate of Fisheries will supervise the whale hunting. The lifting of the ban on whaling has been seen by many as a backward step, that it was a missed opportunity by Iceland to stop whaling forever. However, others pointed out that given that the whaling season runs from mid-June until the end of September, the whaling company might not bother to continue this year. Tragically, this has not been the case. On Tuesday the 5th of September, 2 of the whaling boats were on their way to the whaling station to pick up equipment, and they went out to sea on Wednesday. On Thursday, they killed 2 fin whales and are due back in port on Friday. The whaling company's 5-year licence to hunt expires in December, and Iceland's whaling quota for the next several years will be announced at this time. The hope was that with all the new requirements, the company would decide that whaling was not profitable anymore and decide to stop hunting, or that the requirements for animal welfare were not to be met and that the Icelandic government will not issue a new licence at the end of December. Tragically, this is looking increasingly unlikely. However, it would seem that this is something the Icelandic people themselves want, with opposition to whaling on the rise. In 2006, polls showed that 70 to 80% of Icelanders supported commercial whaling. In June of this year, a survey indicated that only 29% were in favour of hunting, while 51% of Icelanders were opposed. Interestingly, it was the over 60s that were most in favour of continuing whaling. In fact, a poll in 2018 indicated that only 2% of Icelanders had eaten whale meat 6 times or more a year. 84% said that they had never eaten it at all. Most of the whale meat was sent to Japan, but after they resumed commercial whaling in 2019, the demand has drastically reduced the need for imports from Iceland. Surprisingly, the group of people that eat the most whale meat in Iceland are in fact tourists. The International Fund for Animal Welfare and IceWhale, which is the Icelandic Whale Watching Association, have a joint project that volunteers run during the summer months in Reykjavik. The project is called Meet Us, Don't Eat Us. Such a fabulous name. The aim of the project is to educate Icelanders and visitors on the facts about whale meat consumption in Iceland and encourage them not to eat whale meat in a restaurant and help put an end to commercial whaling. Surveys have shown that since the project started, consumption of whale meat by tourists has halved, which is fantastic. The website has a list of whale-friendly restaurants that you can visit, and most have a helpful little description of what that restaurant is like. At the very bottom of this list is a pledge to sign that states you will not eat whale meat and calls for the cruel and unnecessary whale hunt to end. If you feel strongly about this, then please head over to the website and sign the petition. The Meet Us Don't Eat Us project is also there to encourage visitors to take a whale watching tour with a responsible whale watching company. IceWhale has a list of companies which have signed up to their code of conduct, and many provide a platform to enable scientists to conduct research. There are also places where you can see whales from the shore. Whale watching in Iceland is really blossoming, with 1 in 5 tourists taking a whale watching trip and generating about £10 million each year for Iceland's economy. So like many, I wait to hear what happens to the quotas set at the end of the year and hope that the Minister for Food, Agriculture and Fisheries says enough is enough, and Iceland looks forward to a prosperous time of whale watching rather than whale hunting. If you have enjoyed this video, then please like, subscribe and share with your like-minded friends. And don't forget to put your notifications on